Hello and welcome to another segment of Vroom Vroom out at Glen Helen Raceway to the Big Six, round 3. We are racing in T-minus about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm getting there, it's cold outside, might rain during the race, we'll see. Noella baby again, behind the lens, shout out, Knollwood. I rode a vintage race yesterday, went pretty well. Got first place in a vintage race, so that was cool. Track's actually pretty good. Probably going to be hammered today, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to get some footy. We're going to digest the footy, and we'll see how the footy looks. Wish me luck, although it's already over, so your luck is kind of pointless at this point, but if you pause the video and wait like a day and wish me luck, that'll be cool, so I'll see you guys out there.
Suck.
I'm not going out until I do it.
Oh my god.
It's too empty.
50 tries later. Oh
Is this a joke? Look at the bottle's broken.
It's not full enough. That's why.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Oh my gosh. Alright, see you later.
Ready? Are you ready? Hello, are you ready?
Hello?
Are you ready?
Can't hear you.
A lot of people out here today.
Look at that weather though.
Huh?
You're gonna get lucky it's not gonna rain on you.
Yeah, but it's pretty nasty out. I'm a little chilly at the moment, but it's gonna be good. Fucking go! Let's go! I'll try. guys could see that it actually starts to get a little sloppy right about now. The rain is starting to come in. We thought we were actually going to be able to avoid the rain the entire race, but about a half a lap into the I think it was about a 50-minute race, the rain really started to dump down. We're in the lead right now. We're catching, we took off on the 3rd line, so we're starting to catch people from the 2nd line, and then later on we're starting to catch people in the 1st line. But I just want to let you guys know that the rain did start to come down. It started to get pretty bad, and I mean, I'll show you guys the rest, but it starts to get pretty sloppy out there. Right here, we actually get passed by a guy in our class. There's a section of this course that is located on like a short course trophy truck track. That's kind of part of the track where the Grand Prix went into. And this is probably where I struggled the absolute most on the track. I just really do not know how to attack those like really hard corners, so I kind of struggle around those, going pretty slow. You'll see it in the coming laps as well, that part, and then the back section where it's like all asphalt and we had to go around these like barricades and stuff. Those I actually struggle with quite a bit. I just don't know the right amount of speed where I'm not going to slip out completely, so that's where I struggle. I keep them in my sights for a while. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll keep showing the video to show you guys how it pans out, but it is the guy up there in the blue and the white, and you guys could see that things keep starting to get worse condition wise, which I'm actually not opposed to the conditions because I actually really enjoy riding in the mud. So I'll let this pick back up and you guys can see the battle for first. So you guys saw that I ended up finally, after him passing me on the short course track, he held me off all the way until about, I would say, a quarter mile, maybe a half mile into the second lap. I was actually able to get him back going up the hill using the beautiful YZ450 power. I started to actually feel really good on the second lap. I did ride, if you guys aren't subscribed to VVD Racing, I do upload race clips over there also, and if you are subscribed to that channel, you would have saw that the previous day, Saturday, which was an absolutely beautiful day, it was nothing like the mudder we had today. I actually rode this course, but it was an altered course, so there was sections of the course that were actually taken out for the vintage race, because in the vintage race it goes down to bikes that are like super old. There's kids in that race as well, because it's just like a mixed class. I think there's like 8 different classes or something in that race, so there's a lot going on, and they did take out some of the steeper hills. They did alter the course. So the first lap, although I was familiar with the ridges you're seeing right now, and I was familiar with about 90% of the course, there was about 10% of the course I wasn't completely comfortable with because I didn't know what was coming up. So going into the second lap, I actually started to pick my pace up a lot. I started to feel really good on the bike. The whole first lap I run 4 tear-offs. I didn't know it was going to be a mudder, else I would have brought roll-offs. But the problem with tear-offs in the rain is the rain gets in between the tear-offs, and the whole first lap, man, I literally could not see a thing, and it actually worked better for me going in when all 4 tear-offs came off because I used them all in the first lap. I was actually able to see a lot better. And being it with there's not like a ton of people in front of me, it wasn't that bad because I wasn't getting roosted with this wet sand. So me actually taking off all the tear-offs, A, I was able to see a lot better, and B, I was starting to feel a lot more comfortable on the second lap. So you guys will see that I'm actually feeling really good, man. I actually had a very good pace this second lap, and I was feeling real confident with the bike. Probably the best I've felt on the bike in a race all the way. So we're about halfway through the second lap, and I don't know if it's because I was picking up the speeds or if it was actually hailing, but for some reason, man, it started to come down either so hard or there started to get some ice from the sky, because this stuff was hitting me going fast, and it was literally like just pounding at me. It's kind of hard to see on the GoPro, so I'm not 100% sure now that it's actually over, and it was so hard to actually focus on what was happening during the race. I was just concentrating. You can see the rain is just pouring now. Track is starting to get sloppy. Just wait to the final lap, man. It starts to just get a soupy mess out here. But I just want to let you guys know that either A, if it was rain coming down, or B, if it's hail coming down, this stuff hitting you going that speeds, it actually started to hurt pretty good. made it to the final lap of the moto, which I didn't realize 100% at the time that it was going to be the final lap, but showing on the clock, if I would have made it around the track in about 12 minutes, which I didn't think I was going to do, is going to be my final lap. So going into this, I knew this was going to pretty much be my final. You can see Noel and my dad over there on the left cheering me on in the final endeavor out at Glen Helen in the just complete mudfest. But I had a pretty good idea. I was about 99% sure that this was going to be the last lap. So I went out here, I was like, look man, ride a good ride, keep it on 2 wheels. I had about a 15-second lead on second place and over a minute on third place going into the final lap. So I was like, look man, conditions are getting pretty sloppy out here, just ride smooth. You rode a fantastic second lap. If I could just put together a last lap, I know for sure that I'll get the first win of the season, man. So I was like, Dana, just ride smooth, ride it out. It's starting to downpour. You guys will see later throughout this footage of the final lap that it starts to get really sloppy out there, and it's definitely turning into one of those classic Glen Helen mudders. But then again, man, it definitely made this day a lot more fun. I mean, if it was a drier day, maybe the finishes and stuff would have been better. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I don't know, I actually really enjoyed the mud race personally. You guys can see up here on the ridges that arm pump is definitely starting to set in, and maybe a little bit of nerves. I'm starting to get a little sloppy. I'm starting to ride a little bit over my head on the ridges. You guys can see I made pretty much a couple mistakes back to back, and I was like, Dana, slow down, grip the bike with your legs, man, take the weight off your arms, just take it easy and hold on. The amount of disappointment just going on right now is out of this world. It was me looking ahead. There was 2 more people in front of me that weren't even in my class that I was setting a goal on to catch them, and I just overshot the berm. I got sloppy. It wasn't even a sharp berm. Honestly, looking back at it, I have no idea what the heck I was thinking, but I overshot it, tried to overcorrect myself, and just high-sided trying to get back over the berm when I should have just went straight through the bush or through the ribbon and got back on the course. But even that, it wasn't even that sloppy of like, I mean, it was a sloppy mistake, but it wasn't a race ender. You guys could see that my right hand, I keep trying to wipe it off. You guys keep noticing that I keep readjusting my right hand. And that's because when I went down right there, my right hand actually went into the wet sand, and my grip along with that dug into the wet sand, and I lost 100% grip on that side of the bike. So it was literally almost impossible to ride at any sort of pace because my hand just kept sliding off. Like my hand it was literally like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like trying to grip a wet metal pole with like lotion on your hand, or like you have your hand's wet and the pole's wet and you're just trying to grip it and you just can't. And it was getting in my head. I was just super frustrated at myself for going down at that on just such a silly mistake, basically. I mean, it was something that could have easily been avoided. But then again, circling back to what I said earlier, if it was a drier day, it really wouldn't have been a problem because I did have a pretty solid lead on second place. So if it wasn't for the glove just getting just absolutely soaked right there and the grip digging down in the wet sand, it wouldn't have been as big as of a problem. But going down in the mud just absolutely killed me. So I'm going to keep the dialogue rolling because I'm going to show you guys what happens next. So we hop over this berm, and I was waiting to get to the street section because I basically only had one option at this point, and that was to take off my glove because there was absolutely zero grip going on. I throw the glove on the ground, and there's first place, and I'm hitting things down. My clutch lever's up in the air. I can't even fix that later, but that was second place in my class, which is now first place. That jumped in front of me, and I thought maybe taking off the glove, I would have a little bit more grip on the actual grip, which in hindsight, I don't know if it was a good move or not, because leading up to this moment after I went down, I had the same grip I had with just my bare hand, which was absolutely nothing. You guys can see me trying to wipe it off, but my jersey's soaked, my pants are soaked. I try to hang with this guy for as much as possible, but there's just literally nothing I can do. I mean, it sucks going in because I look back at the lap times and I was over 2 minutes slower this lap than the previous lap, and that was just due to the fact that this part wasn't that bad because it wasn't super high speeds, but when it started to get into the rougher sections and the sections that were a lot more like it was just jolting you back and forth, I literally could not grip the bike to save my life. So I'll let the footage roll on, but you guys could just see the amount of speed I just end up losing because I literally have zero grip on the bike. You guys can tell the struggle bus was pretty real at this moment. I cut out all the moments where I was just screaming at myself. I was mad. I was just disappointed in myself. I went down again there just because I have no grip on the bike, and about the 3% of grip I did have, it totally went away right there when I tucked it in the corner and dipped my hand into the wet sand. Now it's over at this point. I'm just trying to salvage anything I can. You guys can tell that I'm trying everything I can to get any type of control over the bike, but with it just being absolutely sloppy out here and all these little downhills like this one just being completely mudded out, it was over, man. I was just trying to salvage anything I could at this time. Yep, so that's how things finished at Glen Helen. I'll take out most of my poutiness going on right now. I was just so disappointed in myself. I had it in the bag. It was the best I've ridden all season. It was probably the funnest Grand Prix course I've ridden in years. I mean, all around, it was amazing. I made one little tiny mistake and it just ruined my race. I mean, congrats to the dude in second, man. That dude, I mean, if you keep it on 2 wheels, you win. He kept me in check the whole entire race. I mean, I maybe had a 20-25 second lead sometime during the race, but he kept me in check, man, and he ended up taking the win. I ended up dropping back to 4th place. I mean, these guys are literally a minute and like a minute and a half behind me, but one mistake, they caught up. Props to those guys, man. They kept it on 2 wheels. They rode a clean race, and in racing, that's what it takes. So congrats to 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, I walked away with probably my most disappointing 4th place finish in my entire life. So thanks you guys for tuning in, man. That was my mud race at Glen Helen. Like I said, sick course, felt amazing, rode amazing for about 75% of the time, and then unfortunately went down. But guess what? That's racing. We'll try to get him next time. Thanks you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time. Deuces, guys.